Hello, everyone. This is your boy Apostle T putting it down for the Lord right here on Engage Weekly. And thank you so much for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate each one of you who tune in each week to be a part of what we have going on right here on the Wisdom Work platform. Wisdom Works 2.0 is the company that we serve, and we try our best to serve as many customers and clients and friends as possible. We know that God is always a God who who works some things out for our good. And what we try to do, we try to be a part of that working things out for your good. So we do podcast production, we do um, we do coaching, we do consulting, we help with as many projects as we possibly can, really to try to see you get the most out of your money and the opportunity that you have to be able to live out your dream, live out your passion, live out the thing that you feel like God has called you to. And that's really our focus here at Wisdom Works 2.0, as well as our focus on helping you to see your dream come to life. This is the place where you can do it. And so we do everything we can to be an encouragement, really to be a leader, to do whatever it takes, really, to see good success come of your project. So consider us anytime that you are joining into to something new to set up a new venture. Absolutely consider us. We can definitely help you to level up on that. And while we're here, while we're getting started, definitely visit our website, wisdomworks.org, and that's WORX, wisdomworks.org. And what we do there, we actually just kind of give a little profile, give a little background on us, and then there are a few projects on there that you can see that we do, and as well as you can see how we do the groups and connect with groups. If you have a group that needs leadership training, have a group that needs motivational speaking, we do that as well. So absolutely want to be a part of what you have going on. Also, if you are watching this for the first time, one of the things we'd like you to do is to go ahead and to click on that subscribe button. Definitely click subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We'd love that. We'd love to have you a part of the Wisdom Work family. And share with everybody that you know. Share with the entrepreneurs in your family. Share with people that you know are trying to do something great, are trying to at least flesh out their dreams, flesh out the vision that they have. That's one of the great things that we do. We are strategists. We help you with your strategy and help you to discover all the ins and outs, help you to see the full picture, help you to develop that out, put it on paper, to plan it, to launch it, and to see it reach good success, really succeed at what you're doing. Let us know how we can help you. We really want to be a part of what you have going on. But definitely share this with as many people as you can, and we'd love to hear from you as well. So again, my name is Apostle T. I go by Apostle T, Coach T, Terrence Townsend. It all matters what situation I'm in. That's what I go by. And I absolutely am excited about this program because this program, again, we are addressing just really some of the core issues, some of the core values that we should have as industry leaders, as people in business, as individuals who live in a community of other individuals, and as people who are looking to leave a legacy. I don't know how many of you out there have children or, planning on having children, planning on pulling the family together, but what you all should be striving for, what we all strive for, is to leave a legacy. And we want our legacy to be well spoken of. We want people to see our name and to realize and recognize that that was a great person. That person knew exactly what they were doing out of life. They understood the challenges that were coming. They were prepared for the things that were gonna roll out against them. They knew that hard times were coming and they were ready for it. But more than anything, they chose to leave legacy. They chose to leave this world better than it was when they came in. That's one of the things that with this program we want to try to do is to leave you as a family member, as a person in business, as a person within a community, as a person in ministry, leave you at a better place to where you will have the tools you need to find great success. And that's what we do. We strive to help you to find great success. And that's in almost every area you can think of, from marriage to business to entrepreneurship to just connecting to being a student to learning how to grow and build the confidence that you need in order to be able to walk out the thing that you feel like God has called you to. I encourage each one of us to spend some time in the Word, spend some time in prayer, spend some time and really discover, etch out the things that God has placed inside of you. Learn about who you are. The Bible tells us, Jesus says, "Come unto me, all ye that are weary and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest." Then he says, "Take my yoke upon you." He means take his ability, his workmanship, his mindset. Take the thing that he valued most on yourself. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. And he said, "I'm meek and lowly in heart, and I will give you rest unto your soul." That means you will find a place, a niche. You will find that place of comfort that you will be able to walk out the thing that you feel like God has called you to do. And a lot of times those things you would do it without getting paid. That's fantastic. And then, and in some cases I would encourage you, do that internship and go and work in a company if you can, and learn everything you can about the company so that you can launch and do what you want to do the right way, or stay with that company and make that company better. I encourage you to do that. It's no problem with doing that. Uh, I want you to be able not just to live out your dreams and live out those places and those areas in life, but I also want you to be able to establish a legacy that's through investing, through making sure your financial security is right, and making sure you choose the right investments, make sure that you know how to handle money, and making sure that you have the discipline that you need in order to handle finances the way that they need to be handled. And there are some things that have to be done within us, and some areas in our life and our mindset that have to be in a place where they are motivated to do the right thing with the resources that we have. And that's what this particular podcast is about, is helping to give you the right mindset so that you won't just go out and splurge and blow opportunities that come into our lives. Opportunities are not promised at all. They may come around once, and if they do, we want to have the right mindset, the right heart set, the right focus to be able to take advantage of those opportunities and see those opportunities work for our good. Take full advantage of them. Walk through the right doors at the right time, at the moment that those doors open, and be prepared to do that. So, in order to do that, there are some foundational things that each one of us must have in us. And so, over the past few weeks, I mean, we've been talking about I think our first 2 months, we just talked about good versus bad credit, and talked about how it affects every aspect of our life, affects who we are, affects what we're going to do, affects what we can and can't do. Um, it also affects how our tomorrow looks, what it looks like for us tomorrow in comparison to today when we use credit in the right way or rightly. There are some things and some advantages and some opportunities that we can get and gain through the right use of credit. But there's also some pitfalls, some danger spots, some places where there are yield signs and stop signs where you just don't want to use credit in a bad way. It will just take you down a dark hole that it's very hard to dig yourself out of. And we want to help you to avoid those things. That's what we want to do. So if you want to check out our YouTube page, all of the other videos, a lot of the other videos that say good versus bad credit, check those out. Each one of them have some jewels, some places, some treasure in there that will help you to be able to handle the responsibility of taking on credit and handling eliminating debt as well. So we absolutely want you to do that. Right now, though, what we're talking about a part that really, it really kind of impacts every aspect of our lives. It's roots down to the core of who we are, and it deals with just some of the character that we have. Some of us have great, character traits. I can leave $100 on the table and know that when I get back in the house, it's gonna be there. I could because that's just the type of character you have. But some of us weren't brought up that way. Some of us just weren't nurtured in that area. And we have not built up those areas in our life where we can be trusted even with ourselves. I tell people all the time, I can trust people a lot sometimes more than I can trust myself because I know my pitfalls and I know the areas where I fall short. So there are some things where I'm like, nope, don't put me in that situation because I will fall. I will drop the ball. You hear me? And you have to know that about yourself. Every one of us have those areas in our life where we are not as strong as we can be or should be in those areas. And those are the things, those are the pitfalls, those are the black eyes. Y'all hear me? That cause us not to truly see the fulfillment and the fullness of everything that we want to accomplish come to pass. So, what we're talking about over the next, actually, I think this is actually the last one. This is the last uh, episode where we're specifically talking about it, but the theme is prevalent throughout every episode, and you'll see as we lay this foundation for you, it's going to be prevalent through everything that we talk about on this medium. So I want you to stay tuned and stay encouraged. This is Engage Weekly with your boy, Apostle T. Now, what we're actually talking about two things. We're talking about contentment and stewardship. And we've gone over really what both of those mean over the past few shows, or the past three shows. So definitely check those out. Contentment, understanding contentment. And so contentment is really defined as an inner satisfaction. You hear me? An inner satisfaction that's independent of external circumstances, which means that there doesn't have to necessarily be anything on the outside of what we're doing, of what you're doing, that affects contentment. Contentment is an internal. Is an internal space. Don't want to necessarily say mood, but it's an internal position that you're in because of the internal condition and conditioning of your life. And you find that on the inside, you feel a sense of satisfaction. I'm good. Everything is working out for my good. I'm satisfied with what I have. I'm satisfied with the things around me. And so when we talk about the satisfaction that we find in contentment, then what we're talking about is that place where you are completely satisfied with, number one, with your relationship with God. You're completely satisfied with that. Number two, you're satisfied with the fact that you uh, are not in need of anything outside of the things that you have, that you currently have. So, um, in contrast to what the world would typically uh, consider you to be content. The worldly mindset is that I need more. I'm not, once I have $1 million, I'm straight. Once I have $5 million, I'm good. Once I hit 1 billion, oh, I'll be happy. You know, Contentment is not based on external conditions. It's not based on the fact that you have $1 million. It's not based on the fact that you have 5 cars in the driveway, have a $2 million house. That's not contentment. That's not what contentment is. Contentment is the internal understanding that what I have is enough. Woo. That's a powerful place to be. That what I have is enough. That completely goes contrary to the mindset of what we've been taught, mindset of what's in the world, the mindset of the things that try to come at us. It's completely backwards. Even with some of the talking heads that we see on YouTube talking about, let me show you how to get $1 million in 5 years, and let me show you how to gain $1,000 in 2 hours. It's completely opposite of that because contentment doesn't doesn't depend on what you have that's tangible. Doesn't depend on that. It depends on you understanding that what I have inside and what God has given me and the things that I have are enough. That God is sufficient for me. That He is enough, and so that's what contentment really deals with. And we look at the gold standard of contentment over in the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 11 through verse 13. Uh, Go check that out. Philippians 4, 11 through 13. And then we also talk about stewardship. Stewardship also is a place that each one of us need to be. We all must show an air of responsibility in our life in order for the things that we are responsible for to be taken care of. Its responsibility includes practicality, which means that you have the things around you and you utilize them how they need to be used. It requires what's another good word there? It requires conscientiousness, meaning that you are sure and you are aware of what's going on around you, or what's going on in your situation. And conscientiousness also deals with being conscious even when it comes to your money, when it comes to investing it, being conscious of what's going on in the market, what's going on in politics, and being conscious about what's going on within your community, even within your family. You hear me? That's what all of this is about. It's about us being the people that are aware of our responsibility and taking that responsibility to heart, being serious about it. So, stewardship, it is also known as faithful management of God's resources. The things that God allows to come through our hands, we will faithfully manage it as it needs to be managed. It's not us doing what we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it, as many times as we want to do it. It is us being cognitive, cognizant of the responsibility that when resources come my way, I'm going to do the right thing with them, because this is God's way of trying to take care of me, provide provision for my life, trying to show forth my character and cause more blessing to come into my life. and trying to build legacy for not just me, but for my kids and my grandkids, trying to establish me here in this earth and trying to establish my name. Y'all, I mean, if we see it like they saw it back in the olden days, that the Abraham, even with Abraham, God said, I will make your name great. You hear me? That's the kind of responsibility that's or response that God has when it comes to us being good stewards. And when it comes to us practicing stewardship, being practical in our lives and being accountable for the things that we do, the things that we say, the being accountable for all of the things that are placed under our provision. You hear me? So that's what stewardship deals with, and that's what that is. Also, we do want to just kind of talk a little bit about the what both stewardship and contentment, what really kind of drives them, and we want to talk about the right attitude, the right mindset, and this is really a key insight when we think about it. Whenever God blesses us with something, or whenever we are placed in a position of responsibility, it's not necessarily because we've been so good or because we've been great at some of the other things that we've done. Those things, all those opportunities come for us to show forth the goodness and the grace of God. And so many times we're blessed and don't even realize how fortunate we are to be as blessed as we are, because we are so geared in our mind to think that, I accomplished this, I earned this, I deserve this. And guys, we don't deserve a thing. Even the job that you are working is a blessing from the Lord. And you have to see it like that in order to make sure that you handle responsibility, handle contentment, handle stewardship, handle it rightly with the mindset. And here's the word of gratitude. Gratitude plus contentment. We have to show gratitude. We should be grateful. We should be thankful to God for the things that come into our life. Every paycheck, we should show gratitude by paying our tithes and our offering. Yes, there are some out there who think and want to think selfishly, and it's a selfish thought that you don't know, you don't have to pay tithes, you don't have to pay offering. Look at what they're doing. It doesn't matter what they're doing at that church. What matters is you being responsible and doing what God asks you to do. Pay your tithes, give alms, pay your offering, do what is in your responsibility. That's a part of having gratitude. We are grateful to God for what He gives us. That's why we give as well, because He was so giving to us. Again, we understand the biggest gift He gave us was salvation through Jesus Christ. God gave His Son, John 3:16, because He so loved the world that He gave His Son, His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. God did that for us so that we would be able to have everlasting life. 10% is nothing compared to everlasting life. 10% is nothing compared to what God can do with the money that we give to the work of ministry. God has plans for that money. You hear me? He has plans for that money, and that money is he's using it to be a blessing to people and to institutions and to opportunities around the world. And it's a blessing for us to be a part of the process. So we're grateful that He even involves us as part of that process of being a blessing and showing forth His love through the church, his love through ministries, his love toward the world through our giving. Gratitude. We need to have the right mindset. We also need to understand that there are certain places in areas in our life. You know what? I think I need to stay with gratitude because I'm I feel like that's where really where we ought to be tonight. I want to I I want to go ahead and really talk about that because I don't think that we in many cases are as grateful as we ought to be. I don't think that we are show enough gratitude. And again, I'm not just talking about giving. I'm not because I can tell you my story. Some of you know my story. Some of you don't want to know my story. I can tell you that over 20 years ago, me and my wife and my family, we were homeless. We had a great job. I was a high tech recruiter at this company in Austin, Texas, and we were running and gunning, recruiting people all over Texas for these high tech companies. And during that time, there were just some things the company just didn't wasn't doing as well as they wanted, and so they dropped the account, and so the first thing that they didn't need was hiring staff, so they dropped us. And so I lost my job. I was making really good money. Lost my job. My wife was pregnant with our fourth child. She was working in the hotel industry. She had gotten to the place to where she couldn't work. I tried to find suitable work and just couldn't find it. And we were effectively homeless and homeless with four kids now down to she had the child, she had the baby while right when everything happened. And so um we had to deal with some stuff, man. We had to deal with some hard times, and we had to deal with situations that were out of our control. And the one thing that we didn't do was stop believing that God was still in charge. It was tough situation, trust. It was tough, but we didn't forget who gave us the opportunity to even do the things that we had been doing. I mean, we were already, just just kind of at that place where we wanted to see some things happen, but we didn't know. And this time of homelessness gave us the opportunity to do that. And I'm gonna tell you, while we were homeless, we started three different entities, three different ventures. First, we started one that's called True Praise Productions, and it was a booking agency for Christian artists. What we did, we had gone to a Christian concert, met with an artist. He said, "Man, I'm as soon as we're done with this tour, I'm going back to hit my shift on Burger King." And it messed with me. I'm like, this guy's doing the work of the Lord. What can we do to help him? And the Lord laid on our heart True Praise Productions, and we became the premier booking agent for Christian hip hop artists. Yes, Christian hip hop artists around the world. We were the premier booking agency for Christian hip hop artists. And we started also Kingdom Builders Ministry Network. And what that is a network where we train and pastors and leaders to establish and build ministries. And that is still around. We check out our website, Kingdom Builders Ministry Network. We encourage, we inspire, and we push pastors to become the leaders of their communities. And we also begin excuse me, excuse me. We also began Save Our City crusades and conferences. And Save Our City is a organization where we go from city to city, training pastors in their congregations, really rallying the troops to become a force for outreach into the community, and they reach out to the community on a level, on a scale that you hadn't seen before. We do a rally, we do concerts, we do training sessions, we do it all through Save Our City Crusaders Conference. And God gave us all of that while we were homeless. Not only that, we're on the radio. We have a radio show that we started back then named the Call Radio Show. And we were blessed. And I'll tell you, when you're willing to give it all, God will bless. He gave us $70,000 worth of radio time for $0. And we were on 5 nights a week, and really inspired as many people as we could playing that same Christian hip hop. but I, but we're still grateful. Now we own multiple businesses. Now we are, at the top of so many slots, so many industries, and we fully understand what God has done. TE Financial Services, Wealth Heritage Group, He's done all of this for us, and it's all because I believe that in those times when we didn't have it to be as faithful as we wanted to, we were still grateful for what God had given us. And so I want to encourage you, be as grateful as you can. Show gratitude. Give to the Lord. The scripture encourages, and we'll also hit this on next week as well. But the scripture encourages us that we should give. Over in Luke chapter 6 and verse 38, give and it shall be given, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give unto your bosom. And then that second part that most people don't quote, it says, for with the same measure ye meet, which means the same measure you give withal, it shall be measured to you again, which means that with the same mindset, the same measure, the same attitude, the same conscientiousness that you give is going to be met, be given back to you. And for many of us, we need to understand that God may not have to bless us with money, but there are sure some needs in our life that need to be met. There's peace, there's joy, there's hope, there's love, those things that are intangible that God will restore, that He will bless us with when we choose to show gratitude through our giving. So God bless you. This is your boy Apostle T, and I thank you again for tuning in to Engage Weekly right here on this platform, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, I don't know, but whatever you're watching, thank you so much. Again, like and share. We definitely want you to visit our website, Wisdom Works, WRX, wisdomworks.org. I love you. See you next time. Take care. God bless.